Welcome to HGTV Dream Home 2026, located on beautiful Lake Wylie, North Carolina. With over 13,000 acres of water to explore, I wanted to make sure this house takes full advantage of the lakefront lifestyle. I am on the upper level of the 2-level dock. And what is so spectacular about this top level, an unobstructed view of everything because of the glass railing, and also the sound the waves make. This is an amazing place to wake up with a cup of coffee and just listen to the waves and all the wildlife and watch the sun come up. In the middle of the day, there is this massive umbrella that shades the entire space. Plenty of space for about 8 people to hang out and talk, but at the end of the day, when the sun is going down, this is also a spectacular place to just watch the sunset, especially during the colder months because you can have the fire pit going right in front of you. And this wall behind me is not just part of the architecture, but this is also where all of these things can be stored when the space is not in use. I'm absolutely in love with the top level, especially its floor, a very unique take on decking. It's a herringbone pattern that adds some unexpected design to the space. The bottom level might be just as spectacular, so let me take you down there via our spiral staircase. Okay, so as far as the lower level of the dock, it's kind of like, what doesn't it have to offer? Because there are so many things to take advantage of down here. When you dream of like a beautiful lake house and in the summers you could just jump off the dock into the water, I mean, that's what you got here. It's completely open, which also feels amazing when the breeze is coming through. We broke the area up into a few different sections. First up, the long periods, like in the morning, afternoon, or evening when people just want to be out here and hang out on the water, that's what this area is for. It's almost like a secondary living room that's right on the water. And because the summers and the springs can get pretty hot, we have plenty of spaces to keep drinks cold. These end tables right here in the seating area actually double as coolers. Then we have a huge cooler that can be wheeled around right behind us. Just off the gathering space is the outdoor waterfront dining space. We had this table custom made by Dave Mars, and we wanted something with materials that really helped enhance the twinkle that you get from the rippled water here. So when you're looking at this beautiful tile juxtaposed with the water, it's almost like they blend into one another. There are so many things about this 2-level dock to make you feel like a kid again. The hanging chairs. Sitting here with a friend and having a conversation for hours on end with the wildlife and the fish jumping and the boats everywhere, it's just like the epitome of lake living at its best. Stand-up paddle boards are really huge here on Lake Wylie. These are inflatable. We've got 2 of them. There's plenty of storage below and side here for all the things that need to be put away when you're not using the outdoor spaces. But I've tried these, and standing out there on these is the best core workout possible. On the other side of the wall is the boat launch. So just a few steps down makes it really easy to get in and out of the water. And when you're done boating for the day and it starts to get dim out here, there's integrated lighting all the way around the dock. In fact, there's integrated lighting that brings you all the way up to the house, so let's go look. All right, so up here by the house, we have 3 different levels of decks, and each one, while they're all really similar, aesthetically, they have kind of different purposes. This is the first one, and this is round. It's the fire pit deck, and it's all about just sitting here, relaxing with friends, especially during the colder months, because you can come outside, sit by the fire, take in the beautiful lake, the boats going back and forth, and also during leaf peeping season, this is incredible in the fall. The other thing that I love about the decking is it is absolutely no maintenance. So this composite is very easy to take care of because you don't really have to take care of it. One step up, the second tier, this is the outdoor dining space. We have a round dining table out here. We have shade above for the months in which we have a lot of sun out here. And another incredible vantage point, you can hear all the sound effects. We have plenty of geese. This is where you can sit down and have a formal meal. There's also plenty of storage up here too. This is a console table that keeps all of the things like the blankets and the pillows and the cushions inside when the outdoor spaces are not in use. Then we have a 3rd level up this way. This is more or less a covered outdoor living room. We have massive ceilings, vaulted, about 30 feet tall. They're clad in this beautiful wood V-groove that's stained very similar to the other stains used on the exterior of the house. Again, we have the composite decking up here, so no maintenance, and the furniture. When I was designing the outdoor spaces, most of the houses here along the lake are in neutrals and colors, but what I really liked was the idea of ours just being super darkly colored. So the exterior is more or less charcoal. The composite decking is more like in the gray sand tone world. And then the furniture is mostly black and charcoal and then different shades of blue. The other thing that's so special about this outdoor living space is how it opens up to the living room inside. So when you talk about having a house that was like designed for parties, this is it. There are also two more private decks. One is directly off of the primary suite on the first floor, and there's another one that's totally unexpected, and that's just off of the laundry lounge on the second floor. As you can see, there's no shortage of outdoor living space here at HGTV Dream Home 2026. In fact, almost every single one of these spaces has an incredible $1 million view of the lakeside living the house comes with. And if you love the design of the exterior, wait until you see the interior. Ready to go see the inside? Let's go. The moment you walk in, you have an incredible view of the lake. So go jump in the lake. It has a lot of drama in here because I think that the ceilings might actually be just under 30 feet. And everything is neutral. This is probably the most neutral house I've ever done in 25 years as a designer, and I love everything about it because of the warmth. The wall color mixed with the trim color, which is also the color used on the interior doors, they all fall into that super neutral world of beiges and khakis and sand. So we just played with it and then brought in a bunch of texture to keep it from being one-dimensional. So we've got kind of like the beige tones all around, but then as you get closer to the floor, you've got more of like a cognac type brown, all of these sand tones and charcoal. And because we love the idea of the house having a little bit of a lodge vibe, the wall behind me, which happens to be the most dramatic thing in the entire house, the fireplace, this is all reclaimed barnwood, and it was on purpose. We wanted something really rough in here to balance all the smoothness that you see everywhere else. And one other thing in here that I'm just so happy with is the mixture of just a few modern elements that go with all the Southern traditional. So these are kind of 1970s, kind of Scandinavian or Danish modern inspired chairs, and they are a really interesting mix with the more traditional piece over here. Another deliberate design decision here was to keep the furniture very low. That way when you walk in, your eye goes directly past, actually I'll show you if you come this way, your eye goes directly past the furniture and out the window. This room right here, by far, has the best view in the house. This is called the morning room, and it's pretty Southern. This is something you'll find in Southern traditional homes, and it's usually a space, it can be any size, but it's a spot where you just kind of get ready in the morning. You don't necessarily formally sit down and have anything to eat. You kind of drink your coffee, read the newspaper, scroll your social media. And what's unique about this room is the space planning was not the easiest thing to do. And many people have rooms like this in their own homes where there's nothing cut and dry as far as laying out furniture. First of all, the view is so spectacular, the furniture needed to stay low, but it's multi-purpose. So what we did was we made sure that there was a space to lay down, just hang out for hours on end if necessary, or sit briefly, eat a simple breakfast or get your coffee ready in the morning. And we did that by breaking the rules. We have a round, almost 40-inch diameter pedestal table sitting kind of in the corner of the room on the rug where I guess usually a big coffee table would go, but it works. Sometimes when you're limited on the space based on traffic patterns in and out like the door presents right there, you gotta get creative with how you use every square inch, and that's what we did in here. The kitchen is also very neutral. I went with a lot of different choices in here that truly fit a forever lake house. For example, the countertops are walnut. What's fantastic about walnut countertops, just like butcher block, is over time there'll be a patina. You oil it every so often, but the patina that happens from the wear and tear actually adds to the charm. So it's part of what makes this feel like a true home. Then also we have two different colors of paint that are neutral here. We have a brown gray that's used on the base of the island that has a bunch of storage. We also use the same color that was used on the trim For the cabinets in here, this is a khaki tone that is very neutral, but it has warmth to it. And so that was one of the reasons I decided to go with the natural stone. One of the applications you can do with stone is something called overgrouting. And that's what you see here, where you see a lot of white kind of cloudiness happening over the actual stone, and that's on purpose. It's similar to something called the German schmear. Another very classic option here was what I did on the hood. The hood is a tinted plaster. It's very similar to the color that's used on the cabinets, but it's kind of a cross between those and what's used on the walls. So there's this somewhat of monochromatic thing happening throughout the house that keeps it super neutral, but by no means flat or boring. One of the other things that I'm so proud of in this house is the pantry. It's got a beautiful arched opening, and then we changed to a much more kind of neutral but saturated neutral green in here, and convenience is everything, and that is why we have built in what's called a grocery door. When the car is pulled into the garage, you can just pass your groceries directly into the walk-in pantry, and there's no running around the house with heavy bags. And then on this side, we wanted something also very practical that's all about daily schedule. So we have these two what look like reclaimed sliding barn doors. They're metal, but they're strictly decorative. And then also I'm sitting right in front of all the open storage, which feels so classic and European and kind of really fits that kind of like English cottage vibe, especially with this arched doorway. The formal dining room is probably the only space in the house that doesn't have an incredible view of the water. We decided to kind of give it its own identity. We have nickel gap that goes up to almost 6 feet, and the color scheme is so unique. The light source in this room is so different than the rest of the house, so this was the perfect balance, the top and the bottom here. The other thing, the window treatments. So when you're dealing with a large house like this that has a lot of windows, a window treatment budget is also something you really have to keep in check. And what I tried to do was find something custom for this room that really fit the color scheme, but these colors are so specific. There were no patterns that had this color and that color together. So what we did, we found one with a similar color to the wall, and then we used this decorative trim on the edge to make sure that we brought that same color scheme over to the windows. And then one other kind of behind the scenes trick in here, I really like using lighting in odd numbers, but sometimes if you don't have the space, you have to go with even. And that's what happened in this case. We can only fit 2 perfectly in this room, but I do not love having fixtures where the bulbs are totally exposed all over the house. So on the same website, I found these shades and kind of customized it myself. So it comes with the exposed bulbs, but just adding the shades gives it like a brand new identity. So I really love how this room turned out. There was a bunch of little tricks that brought it to life. Since so much of the main level is very neutral, this is one opportunity to pop some serious color. So there's this gorgeous kind of blue-green teal used on the built-ins here, plenty of concealed storage and open storage as well. And the powder room takes the color to the next level with a really punchy blue-green on the walls. And this leads you out to the garage. It's not like every other garage you've ever seen. It's so much more. This is being used mostly as a recreation space. It is a garage, so I love the idea of a workstation for tools and busy types of creative projects or potting plants, etc. But you've got this incredible opportunity to look at this beautiful view behind you. So I thought it would be great if it was outfitted with games and activities for friends to do on rainy days. So this is a table tennis table that folds up. It ends up becoming somewhat the size of just a regular suitcase. It can go inside of a closet. Then there's places to hang out, have drinks together, have conversations. The other thing, we really wanted a space that was all about 4-footed furry friends. So there's a station over here where dog food, cat food, leashes, things that are needed for walks and outdoors, directly next to the pet wash station. So welcome to the main bedroom. And this is by far like the warmest room in the house. We have a canopy bed that's upholstered in a brown gray boucle. And a very similar color has been used on the trim, around the windows, and also on the doors. And what I really, really love about this room is it's basically just layers and layers of brown and tan tones together, but it doesn't feel super neutral because we've incorporated some shades of pumpkin or even like a burnt orange, as you see with different layers all over the space. We've got a set of windows that look directly out to the water, and instead of having elaborate window treatments in here, I just decided to go with woven shades because I really didn't want to take any more focus away from the beautiful view outside. So these go up when the sun comes out and you've got an incredible view outside. One of the other things that's really special about this room is its height. We've got these beautiful wood beams that run up the ceiling, and they also frame these 3 skylights. And the skylights are absolutely incredible because when the sun is directly overhead and the sky is blue and the clouds are fluffy, it's almost like ceiling art in a way. Then there is the first set of doors, which leads to the bathroom. As you can see, this is very, very large. We have a walk-in shower with French doors. There's so much square footage in here. We actually have doors that open both this way. This is the same color that I used on the trim and on the doors in the bedroom area. And then it's layered with all different shades of like charcoal. We even got a grayish toned wood here on the vanities. It's kind of best described as woodsy and menswear inspired, especially with the brown gray and the blue gray colors here in this tweed, which has this gorgeous buffalo check / plaid pattern on it. I did a whole thing in here called color drenching, where I used the same color on the walls that I did on the trim and on the ceiling. But there's also another set of double doors. It's a walk-in closet that feels like it could be its own apartment, actually. And we have a piece of freestanding furniture right in the middle to drop off all your things and keep things that come out of your pockets before you do your laundry. And when I say do laundry, because we have a 2-in-1 washer dryer here. This is a really nice practical part of the design. I also love that we have a window seat right here because of all the natural light that's flooding in. And of course, skylights once again, because this room and other rooms throughout the house are really all about natural light. And to give the closet a little bit of grandeur, there's also this beautiful light fixture above. And now we're gonna head back from the closet through the bathroom and the main bedroom, and we are going to go upstairs. The second level is all about guests, starting right here on the landing. The landing has what's called a dry bar. And the reason it's called a dry bar is, yes, it does have a beverage cooler for cool drinks, but there's no sink, which makes it perfect for laying out snacks. On the other side of the landing, a quick little spot to just sit down, take on or put off your shoes or sandals after a long day out on the water or out back on the dock. And this is the first of the 3 rooms up here. I'm not calling it a bedroom because it's not. I'm not calling it an office because it's not. It is called the laundry lounge. Okay, you may have never heard of a laundry lounge before. That's a good thing. We wanted something that was different up here. It has a spectacular view of the water, 4 skylights above with big blue skies and fluffy white clouds that you can see from any vantage point in here. And it's broken down for like 3 different uses, okay? So tucked over on this side is the workstation, which makes this kind of a studio and or lounge. So if you want to be up here all day working from home, plenty of space for laptops for 2 people to work, creative boards to put up all your ideas. Then a 5-foot diameter round pedestal table is ideal not only for crafts or any creative work that you want to do. There is plenty of surface space for piles of laundry. And there's a corner over here where all the laundry can be done. And one other really cool design element about this space is the fact that it has its own attached outdoor living space. There's seating for 2 out there perched just above the water with a gorgeous view of the lake. Through the landing is the first of 2 guest suites. I refer to it as the red guest suite, but in fact, it's kind of just got a very creamy backdrop, and the trim, ceiling, and the doors are actually painted this beautiful shade of cranberry. What I love about it is it kind of feels like an attic conversion where it functions as its own like true apartment. And you've got that feeling of being an old converted attic because of the dormers here. Skylights on each side, built-in bookshelf with built-in window seat. Perfect for a teen space, actually. And an area to hang out, play games, read, sit back, relax. and of course, a place to sleep with another beautiful water view just behind the bed. And this has an ensuite bathroom that has two different entrances and exits. So it's accessible once you get up the stairs and also directly from the bedroom. What's so special about this room is the sink. So it is a trough sink with 3 faucets in it. It is hung at a lower height, which is incredible. If this ends up being a teen suite or a kid suite, this is perfect because they're not super high. It also has kind of like a farmhouse feeling to it, which is great because we're in North Carolina, we're on a lake, so it kind of makes sense in that laid back setting. But the color scheme in here, it is so unique. It's 2 different shades that actually read like the same color. We have one terracotta shade on the wall, one that's slightly darker up on the ceiling, and then also another lakeside view. Now we are gonna go this way. This is the second guest suite. I'm referring to this as the green guest bedroom, but it's not really, again, because we did most of our color this time on the trim and the ceilings. So we have a creamy backdrop, then we have this beautiful shade of forest green on the trim and on the doors. And the thing in this room is it was supposed to feel very camp inspired. These are actually custom made camping badges. And there's also a bunch of playful textures in here that just feel kind of summery and outdoorsy and fun. And this room has a very unexpected color scheme inside of its ensuite bathroom. Very playful, very fun, very high energy. And there you have it. That's our lakeside retreat. HGTV Dream Home 2026 has been a pure joy to design, and I am so stoked for whoever is lucky enough to win it.